Welcome everyone, I'm Amy. I'm a nutritional therapy practitioner and I'm also an NPC bikini and once upon a time fit model competitor. And this is my improvement season vlog, week whatever. In the intro, I'm going to be talking about the feedback I got from my coach from my check-in last week. So if you want to hear what my check-in was, that was in last week's video toward the end, and talking about anything else I have going on this week. Yeah, let's just jump right into the feedback. So I got feedback from my coach. It was very short feedback, but what I sent as my check-in was not super involved, so not surprised. He was happy to hear that the increased sodium was helping with pumps, that recovery was looking good. I had asked about the foot stance or the width, the stance of my feet on pendulum squats and also on hack squats, and he said just regular foot stance that allows for full range of motion. He said you can send me a video, but it doesn't need to be narrow, doesn't need to be wide, just whatever allows you to let your hips move freely so you can get a full range of motion. So that's good. I'd kind of played around with foot position a little bit, and that's why I asked. I also, the workout that I did with Wendy and Tony last week, I noticed that they were both using a much narrower stance than I was using on the pendulum. So that's what prompted me to ask that question last week. So that's what went on with that question. But he said just to send a picture, no cycle. He said weight is good, balancing out, probably a little recomp right now. Blood pressure is great, metrics are great, blood sugar is awesome. We're very good. Started the low-dose naltrexone, no notable symptoms. He commented that, I started my SIBO protocol. And I'd also commented, or in my feedback I'd sent him, I said that, the lying leg curls felt a little weird on my knee. It wasn't painful, but just a little bit weird. And he just said to send videos. And he said, all good. Keep me posted, send me some videos, and we'll get things moving along. So I had sent videos of my workout last week, and he responded right away that he was going to watch them during his cardio that day, and that was Sunday of last week. Never heard back. So I don't know what the feedback was on those workouts, but I will send him videos of the pendulum and the hack squat this week to see if I can get some feedback on my foot position and just general range of motion on those as well. I am getting more comfortable using those and increasing the weights a lot more now that I'm kind of just more comfortable with the movement. I still do feel like the pendulum squat is kind of like a ride on a roller coaster, or like a amusement park ride. Those ones that swing back and forth. It's kind of what in my head, that's how I tricked myself into pushing through the pain on those. It's just like a fun day at the amusement park. So that was my feedback for the week. Don't have a lot going on this week. This is kind of my first full week being on the SIBO supplements, which I am not really having any extreme symptoms just yet. I know I mentioned in my check-in that I was expecting some die-off symptoms, but so far things have seemed pretty stable in that sense, but it hasn't even been a full week. So definitely looking forward to getting a little bit deeper into using those and kind of seeing what happens. I will show in this video, I'll show what's in the SIBO kit, do a little unboxing of it just so you guys can see what is in there. And other than that, it's weird to have a week where I don't really have anything planned. It's just a normal week here in summer. It's June, which is amazing. The weather's been beautiful and it's just been great to see the sun, feel some warmth on my skin, be able to walk outside and just feel some sunshine has been fantastic. So looking forward to some good weather this week, some good workouts this week. And I think that's all I've got, but who knows? There'll be something else that comes up, I'm sure. So whatever that is will be in the rest of the video. But until then, thank you all so much for being here. Whatever's to come will be in the timestamps below if you want to fast forward through anything. And I will see you all here in whatever comes next.
So this week I actually only recorded 2 exercises. Clearly my workout was more than just these 2 exercises, but the gym got a little bit busier, and you'll see there's a lot of people in the background in some of these shots. So I just recorded my pendulum squats. I had asked in my check-in how wide my stance should be, and my coach asked for me to send videos. So said just like a stance that allowed me to have a full range of motion with my hips. So kind of just a wide-ish neutral stance, I guess. So that's what I'm doing here. The platform on this pendulum is not that wide. So this for me feels like a really good stance. It allows me to get deep enough, and gosh, these are so brutal. I only have that 35-pound plate on here, and I was struggling with these reps. Like, I know that I will get stronger at this, but man, is it humbling right now. Just a humbling exercise. It is hard. And then after that, I did a set of tricep pushdowns. I kind of just went back and forth just to give my legs a little bit of a break in between, just using the cambered bar. Cambered bar here actually is pretty heavy, so I am able to put the weight up a little bit higher just because the weight of the bar is so great. So I go a little higher or heavier on weight than I do with the rope, because the bar itself is heavy and assisting almost. It's like having a little bit of an assist on these. The pendulum of leg crushing, soul crushing. It is good though. And then I'll finish off with one more set of triceps. I did 3 sets on the tricep pushdown. I just only recorded 2 sets. And then, like I said, I did have a lot of other exercises in this workout. These were just the only ones I got video of.
All right, so let's take a look at what comes in my new SIBO protocol kit. Before I go into everything, I just want to remind everyone that I am not a doctor. I am a nutritional therapy practitioner. If you suspect that you have any type of digestive issues, I do not recommend diagnosing yourself. I think you should work with a qualified professional, whether that be a nutritionist, a GI doctor, a naturopath, whoever that is. If you suspect you're having these kinds of issues, you should definitely work with somebody to make sure that that is indeed what is happening. So this is a 2-step process. This is the starter kit, so this will be just 30 days. Kit number 2 is a 90-day protocol, and I will probably I'll run it at least once, but may run it up to 3 times just to make sure that there is not a recurrence. With SIBO, the rates of recurrence, even after taking prescription antibiotics, is something like 45% within 9 months. It's extremely high because it's potentially not eradicated all the way, which is why the part 2 of this protocol is quite a bit longer. So that may seem kind of daunting to some people that you're going to be, just this starter kit is 4 months long, the stage 1 and then the stage 2, but you really want to make sure that once you've eradicated and balanced that bacteria, that you do keep it all where it's supposed to be and rebuild a healthy gut microbiome at the same time. So let's talk about what comes in the SIBO kit. So there's 3 products in this kit, and you take them all 3 times a day. So it comes with a little instruction book as well. So the instructional book goes over, what comes in it, symptoms you might be having, some things you can do from a lifestyle standpoint to make your results better, eating a clean whole foods diet, adding fermented foods, including phytonutrient-rich foods, avoiding sugar, eating less frequent meals. It talks a little bit about the FODMAP diet. Now, FODMAPs can definitely help with symptom management, but it is not a cure for SIBO or for any real gut issues. It can help with symptoms, but it's not a cure. And then, of course, stress management. I think it's really important that they do say that stress can exacerbate digestive symptoms. Consider adding stress management techniques such as yoga, meditation, or deep breathing exercises to your daily routine. And of course, exercise, avoid smoking and alcohol consumption. And then it goes through how to take them and what is in here. So let's first look at the ADP product. So ADP is an oregano product. So it's a sustained release oil of oregano. And the reason for that is that you want to make sure that it gets to where it needs to be in your intestines and isn't all just absorbed in the stomach. Most oregano supplements that you see, oil of oregano, it's in like a gel cap. So these are different. They're actually a tablet. So you kind of see, they smell extremely strong. They smell like oil of oregano, but they are a tablet instead of a capsule. So it allows for increased nutrient absorption and bioavailability in the area of the intestines where we want it. One of the other things they say about it that has a strong and robust antioxidant properties along with a strong history of supporting GI health. Oil of oregano uses microemulsion technology for increased nutrient absorption and bioavailability dramatically across the effective surface area of the oil. So this is a great one. So that's ADP. And then the next thing is FC-Cytal. So these 2 products, FC-Cytal and the next one, Dysbiocide, they work synergistically, so they work together. They're each a unique blend of ingredients, but they do work together to have the best result. And this has been clinically studied. So this specific combination of the FC-Cytal and the Dysbiocide has been clinically studied. They actually have done clinical studies on this, which is really cool. So these are studied products. This one is a blend of herbs and herbal extracts to help with controlling pests and foodborne yeast and molds in the context of food safety. They use these in actual cooking preparations. This formulation is specifically designed to help support a healthy microbial balance due to a wide array of polyphenic compounds. So this one's really cool. So you take 2 of these and these are capsules. So you take 2 of these 3 times a day. And then the third product is the Dysbiocide. And again, this one is a capsule as well. Capsules. And Dysbiocide is a proprietary blend of herbs and herbal extracts that support normal gut health. The combination of Eastern and Western herbs in this formula provides synergistic, comprehensive support for healthy gut microbiota, even with low dosing. So that is something that's really interesting because this is clinically studied. They actually, in the clinical studies, had people doing these just twice a day, but then they've kind of revised the protocol and now do 3 times a day for the 30 days. So it's pretty cool that they continued to research it even after they saw such amazing results. They've continued to do more research on it. Biotics is a really great company. So super awesome. So yeah, I take each one 3 times a day. The timing on these, they are meant to be taken, or they're best taken on an empty stomach. So they say either 30 minutes before and or 2 hours after eating. So as a bodybuilder, we do tend to eat multiple times a day. So that is the one thing that's been slightly challenging, is just, it might not seem like it, but that really is 2.5 hours, right? So if you're taking them 2 hours after food, but also 30 minutes before a meal, that's really 2.5 hours that you need in between. So it's not an issue of time, of that not being an okay timing. It's just remembering has been my biggest issue. Like, oh shoot, like I need to take those, but then I have to wait 30 more minutes to eat. So then it has kind of thrown off my meal timing slightly, but I have gotten used to it, and it's only for a month. I think kit 2 is also 3 times a day. Look, I actually have kit 2 right here. There's kit 2. We'll open this when it's actually time to start it. But yes, it is also 3 times a day. So I'm sure I'll just, by the time the 4 months is over, if I stop taking them, I'll be like, something is missing in my day. By then it'll be completely habit. So if you guys do have questions about these products, please let me know. Again, these can be purchased, just on Amazon, but I don't recommend it. They're powerful. Taking them for a prescribed amount of time like this to address an issue is what I'm doing. I'm not like taking these for continuing or ongoing support. They really are meant to be used together to treat a specific issue for a specific amount of time. So again, if you do suspect that you're having any type of dysbiosis or SIBO, definitely recommend working with a person who is competent and can help you along the way. That's it. Welcome back. It is the end of the week. It is time to talk about my check-in and just kind of recap how the week went. So first and foremost, I think, let's talk about how the week went first. So it has been the second week of taking my SIBO supplements, which you guys saw. I did like the unboxing of those. It's going very well. I definitely had, some die-off symptoms toward the end of last week and the beginning of this week, but it seems to have leveled out. So it seems to be going well. I haven't noticed an extreme improvement in anything just yet, but I am hopeful, and I'm really not that far into the process yet. So I know it's going to take some time, but other than that, digestively, everything is going well, and no negatives, no positives. It's just kind of neutral, and that's fine for right now. So all is going well there. The hard part is with the timing, as you saw, that they're supposed to be taken ideally on an empty stomach. So either 30 minutes before a meal or 2 hours after, which wouldn't seem like it would be all that challenging to do. But when you are a bodybuilder and you eat multiple times a day, it can be hard to time it like that, especially if I get really busy at work and like, oh shoot, or I eat something like, shoot, like timing was off. And then like, do I wait 2 hours? What do I do at this point? So getting the timing right with those has been a little bit of a struggle, but I'm getting there. And I've had to, a couple of times I've taken them with food just because that's just the way the day went. So I couldn't just wait 2 more hours to eat, or, another half hour to eat, or, wait 2 hours after. So it's been working out fine. And I do think, like I said, that there's definitely signs of that things are working, the die-off symptoms I was having, and then, just some kind of equilibrium, balancing out, all that kind of good stuff. So excited to see how the next couple of weeks go before I switch over to the kit 2, which I will talk about when I switch over to that one. So the really exciting thing that happened this week, this shirt I'm wearing, Powerhouse Gym. So this was so exciting, or I was so excited and just loved this. So yesterday I was working out, it was morning, it's very early, and I was kind of just going back and forth between 2 pieces of like equipment that were really close together, just warming up. And I came back from doing the leg curls, and there was, I saw this, it looked like a towel because it was like draped over my bag. And I was like, oh, did somebody drop their stuff here? And then I picked it up and looked at it and saw that it was a shirt. And I looked around, to see who was there, and it was obviously Shelby. So I, kind of waved and said thank you. And I was just so touched. And, it was an ironic timing because the day that this happened was actually the last day of my 30-day trial with them. Like I just signed up for 30 days with like no renewal, just did the 30 days. And it really solidified to me like how awesome this gym is and how much I just instantly felt at home there. Like I've mentioned the drive a couple of times, and it is a significant drive for me, but it has been absolutely worth it every step of the way. Every single interaction I've had there has been nothing but positive. The other gym goers are so awesome. every staff member that works there, the way they treated my friends when they were in town with the guest passes and let them come back twice in one day, even though it was a holiday. I mean, there's just so many reasons. So when I called to renew that afternoon, to renew my membership, even that interaction, like the person I spoke with on the phone, he was just so nice and so helpful. And every step of the process with them, like from the very first time I went and did that little tour and like every workout I've had there, it's just been incredible. So I feel so good about my decision to switch gyms, and I did sign up for a much longer contract with them because I don't want to switch. As much as the drive is a little bit of a thing, it's worth it. And I've never felt so at home at a gym so quickly, like never feeling any little bit of awkwardness. Like, it's hard to explain. I mean, I've been going to the gym for decades, and I think that when you switch to a different gym, there's always like, it sometimes can feel a little bit off, or the vibe is a little weird, or people are a little weird, or just something is not, quite like your perfect fit. This gym has it's been awesome from the beginning. And I just getting the shirt that day, I was like, yep, this is my gym home. So I have officially found my gym home, which is the Powerhouse Gym, which is just awesome. And I love the bright orange. I don't know if you can tell on video, like how orange it is. It is like day glow orange. It gives me all the good like 90s feels. So it's been really fun. I wish they had a posing room, but other than that, no other complaints. And I do need to remember to order a clip-on fan, because it gets, where I do cardio there, there's not a lot of airflow. And oh my goodness, I have had some very sweaty cardio sessions, and it is not hot here right now. So definitely going to get a little clip-on fan that I can bring with me to the gym, like one of those like stroller fans, just to get some airflow. I don't mind being hot when I'm doing cardio, but just like the no movement of air is what is challenging. Something is going on up above me. I don't know if you guys can hear that. So that's really it for my week. The rest of the week was just busy with work and just normal things. It's been raining here forever, but it's all good. It's June. I can't complain. Then the weather the next 10 days is supposed to be unbelievably gorgeous, so I'm super excited for that. So let's talk about my check-in for the week. Crickets, cue the crickets. There isn't one. And there isn't one on purpose. So there are no photos this week. There's no anything this week because I'm going to switch coaches. And I feel really good about my decision. Spent a lot of time thinking about it. I am not a coach hopper. Until now, I had never been with a coach for less than a year ever. And my last coach with Joe, I was with him for multiple years. So I'm very loyal to my coach, but it just wasn't a good fit in this particular coaching situation. I don't feel like it was a good fit for me as an athlete. And ultimately, if it's not a good fit for me, it's not a good fit for the coach either. So did decide to leave my previous coach, and I'm super excited to be starting with my new coach, which I will talk a lot about in next week's video. I did a lot of research. I did a lot of interviews with a lot of different coaches and feel really good about my choice. And I'm really excited. It's going to be, I think, a much different coaching style, kind of a combination, at least from what it kind of feels like, a combination of some of my previous coaches just kind of rolled up into a cool new package, some good vibes, I get. Like, I hate to use the word vibes, but I really feel like this is a person I really connect with as a coach. And I really feel like he listened to me when we had our interview. I felt like he really listened, and he actually understood without me even, like, he said some things that, like, especially with my SIBO and my digestive issues, like, he said a couple of things to me, like exactly what my symptoms were. And he's like, yeah, like, and that people, that other people may not understand, and make me feel like I'm crazy or being like nuts. And like, yeah, that's exactly how I feel. Like, that's how I have felt. So it was great. So from the initial interview, I've just been super impressed. I'm very excited to get my new plan and to get started. I really have, I have goals as an athlete, and I just, more than anything, I want to feel understood. And that was a big part of what I feel like was missing in my last coach, that I just didn't feel like we connected, in that way that, like, he understood what my goals were or what I needed as an athlete, or even that I was an athlete, and kind of how to nurture the athlete. And that's that's why I have a coach, because I need someone to help me thrive and grow as an athlete. You know, I have other things in my life that can help me thrive and grow as a person. Like when it comes to coaching, like that's what I need. I need someone who gets it, who understands the athlete mentality, who understands the struggles I may be going through and can help me progress through those struggles, and also, you know, understands the other parts of it. And this coach in particular, like he is very much continuing to progress his own coaching knowledge. He himself has an amazing coach. Like everything about it is just feeling so much better already. So I'm really excited. But it does mean that there is no check-in this week, because it kind of am in this weird limbo spot where I just, you know, yesterday would have been my check-in day, and it was the day that I did let my coach know that, you know, I wouldn't be progressing with him any further. So there was no check-in from that. And my new coach, I haven't gotten a plan yet from. So you know, he obviously has all my pictures from last week and everything else, but you know, there's no update just yet because we haven't started yet. So for the next couple of days, I'm like I'm a limbo athlete. I'm on my own. It does kind of feel weird where I'm like, oh wow, I'm like on my own for a couple of days. I can do this. It'll be just fine. And I don't mean that. It's just, yeah, I'm so used to following a specific plan. I'm like, well, do I keep following my plan? Well, of course I do. I'm not changing anything at all. Like I'm literally doing the exact same thing. I did my normal workout today, did my normal cardio. Like nothing's changing for me, but it does kind of that mental switch of like, wow, this is, you know, I'm going to be starting something new. So very excited. And of course I will talk about that more in my my next week's video, where I usually talk about my feedback from my coach from the week. So I will actually have some, and it'll be new. So that's going to be really great. I did not ever end up getting feedback on my workouts. So I don't know if there would have been any adjustments to some of those exercises I was doing. I never did hear back from my coach. He said he would watch them during cardio and give me feedback, and I never did hear back. So there was no change there, and everything else was just kind of normal this week. So yeah, usually I would be, you know, reading off my check-in, but there isn't any. What do I have going on next week? Aside from having a new coach, that's pretty much it. I'm really excited. I think I've probably said that a bunch of times. If you have any questions, please leave those in the comments section below. And I hope the sun shines this weekend. That's what I'm really hoping for. We've had some rough weather the last few weeks, so I'm super excited to see the sun, to have it feel like it's summer. But wherever you are, please, please, please spread positivity and light to yourself and everyone around you. I appreciate you. I know this journey these last couple of weeks has been weird and, you know, definitely some unsettledness in my life, but I'm feeling really good about the direction things are moving, and I'm really excited to take you all along for the ride next week. So again, if you do have any questions, comments, feedback, whatever, please leave those in the comment section below, and I will see you all here next time.